Hey, I'm Dan Harris, host of the 10% Happier podcast. With summer winding down, now is the perfect time to hit the reset button. So many of us get stuck in ruts at work, in our relationships, in our nervous system. We've got a special series where I'm going to be talking to psychologists, meditation teachers, even some comedians about how to get out of that rut, how to reset your life in lots of different super practical ways. 10% Happier with Dan Harris. Join the party wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the Secret Passage podcast. I'm your host, Dana Vespoli.
And I am Shannon Rogers, your other host.
And here we are today with this case that originally we were going to talk about something else. And we'll come back to the other subject later, but this jumped on my radar and I just had so many feelings about it. I really wanted to discuss this today, and it is a case of a former Harvard-Westlake student who he and his family are suing Harvard-Westlake for neglecting to do anything about the racist harassment, the racist bullying, and the sexual assaults he endured. And it wasn't just him. His name is Aidan Romain. And there's another student who was a victim of similar harassment who is unnamed. He just goes by JM, which I think are his initials. And so this lawsuit, the civil suit was filed February 27th, I believe. And so this case has made the news. Yeah, it's really upsetting. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. So in February of 2024, two LAPD officers walked onto the lush campus of the exclusive Harvard-Westlake School in the Studio City suburb of Los Angeles. Tuition for the school as of 2025 is $52,500 a year. And the school is considered a top feeder school for Ivy League institutions and other top-tier universities. On that bright, sunny February morning in 2024, however, Luca Vanderwood, a junior and star water polo player, was taken into custody, and instead of murmurs about his athletic prowess and bright future spreading throughout the campus, it was bewilderment and confusion. Things like this don't happen at a school like Harvard-Westlake. No, they don't, because the school works very hard to squash anything that might threaten its reputation.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, LAPD had finally been called after the school repeatedly failed to protect Aidan Romain, who at that time was a sophomore and rising star water polo player. Aidan also happens to be Black. The year prior, Aidan, who had moved with his father, Alex, mother, Melissa, and his younger sister from Washington, D.C., was the youngest player on Harvard-Westlake's varsity water polo team, a testament to his incredible talent. But pretty quickly, the harassment started. A campaign of racist bullying and sexual assaults led by then sophomore varsity water polo player Luca Vanderwood began. So if I recall correctly, the first incident of sexual assault took place in the pool before practice. Aidan was in the water doing the treading water, doing the egg beater, with his legs underwater. So it was just like his head is up. And Luca took Aidan by surprise. He came up behind him and just rammed his fingers into his butt. Aidan cried out and demanded to know why Luca did it, but Luca and other teammates laughed at him. And at that moment, Aidan realized he was on his own. So, he arrives at the school, excited, an A student out of Washington, D.C. I believe his mother was of Jamaican descent. His father was Haitian descent. And Aidan there's a really excellent Vanity Fair article about this case, but it describes him as being, what is it, raised in this very like loving, disciplined way. You know, his parents were very, very, very strict, like in the kindest way, though. So he came to water polo later. A lot of water polo players, they start super duper early. He came to it a little bit later and then just fucking took off. And his father describes him as just being like, it was that thing where you discover, oh, that's his thing. It was like that realization, like, oh, that's his thing. That's his ticket, right? And he had aspirations. He wanted to go to a Division I school, play water polo, be on the Olympic team. Like, he had all kinds of goals and ambitions. And so at that time, Harvard-Westlake was ranked really high for water polo. And, you know, to be a freshman varsity player is unusual, I think, in any sport, but especially in you know, a school like Harvard-Westlake that boasted such a high level team. And then right away, he just started getting harassed. And at that point, he thought he was wondering, like, maybe the team didn't know what happened. You know, he knew what Luca did, but he thought, okay, well, maybe the rest of the team didn't know what happened. But then as time went on, it became very apparent what was going on, and that no one was ever going to step in to help him. And so Luca Vanderwood was the ringleader, and then there was another player, Connor Kim, I think, who was in the same, yeah, also a sophomore. So yeah, Aidan was a year behind Luca and Connor Kim. Connor Kim is at Harvard now in an attack position on the water polo team, but he was part of it as well. So I'm going to give you guys a little background on Harvard-Westlake, because I got thoughts.
I can share some of Tim's.
Yes, because Tim is an Angelino native. He was like born and raised here, and so he is familiar with the Harvard-Westlake School. Where did Tim go?
He went to a couple of different schools because he was a bad boy.
I
think
see.
he went to CES or Laces. I can't remember. He went to two different high schools.
I thought maybe he went to Crossroads, because that's where a lot of Venice kids go. I mean, it's another expensive ass fucking elite school, but
Well, his mom was a teacher, so she taught Spanish in the LA Unified. So, and then his dad became a vice principal, like, you know, there after he left his career in the music biz. But Tim went to public schools, so
Gotcha.
yeah. So I'll ask him. It's a good question.
So Harvard-Westlake, as I said earlier, it's located in Los Angeles. It's a private coeducational school with a rich history and a mission focused on academic excellence and personal growth. Really? So I think they've got the academic excellence like down pat, but the personal growth.
If you want to
Some
grow
bullies.
if you want to grow into a psychopath, come here.
So, quick history. Harvard-Westlake originated from two institutions: Harvard School, founded in 1900 by the Harvard Military School, and Westlake School for Girls, which was established in 1911. In 1989, they merged the two schools together to create Harvard-Westlake School. They emphasized their commitment to providing a comprehensive education. Over the years, the school has expanded its campus and facilities, including state-of-the-art classrooms, science labs, and athletic complexes. So Harvard-Westlake is renowned for its rigorous academic program that includes a challenging curriculum in sciences, humanities, and arts. The school encourages critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration among students. The school serves students from grades 7 through 12 and has approximately 1,600 students enrolled. And Harvard-Westlake has a wide range of extracurricular options, as we know: athletics, water polo, etc., performing arts, community service. So students are encouraged to explore diverse interests outside the classroom. The main campus is in Studio City, and it's very modern. There's libraries, theaters, athletic fields. It's a beautiful campus. I was looking at pictures online. So again, the reputation, it's known for strong college preparatory curriculum. It's ranked high, although not as high anymore. It used to be number 2. Now it's number 40.
Because of this?
I think a lot of things, a lot of
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah. It is California after all. So
Yes.
bad.
So the school, so here's the mission. And this is important to know because it comes up with Aidan's parents when they're confronting the school. Like, your mission statement is this, yet not seeing it implemented. So the school's mission emphasizes academic rigor, ethical responsibility, and a commitment to service. Okay.
Mission not accomplished.
Right? Harvard-Westlake strives to cultivate a diverse community where each student's individuality is honored and where they are prepared to make meaningful contributions to society. Maybe now is a good time to bring up the cluster of suicides that they had not too long ago at the school.
Hi.
Yeah. In summary, Harvard-Westlake School has built a prestigious reputation for its commitment to excellence in education, a supportive community, and well-rounded student development through a variety of programs and opportunities. But however, there's been some controversy surrounding Harvard-Westlake, and it's drawn significant media attention and scrutiny. So, March 2023. A 15-year-old female student known for her talents in field hockey and photography committed suicide. So that was March. In April 2023, an 18-year-old male student died by suicide. He had recently experienced the loss of another community member in a car accident. So it may not be related to anything to do with the school necessarily. June 2023, another student, age 16, took his life shortly after school ended for the summer. October 2023, a 9th grader died by suicide. So this was the 4th student death from suicide in that short window.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that school, there's so much pressure. It's known for having so much pressure to the point where students will be struggling at that school. And by the time they get to college, they're burnt the fuck out. Just completely burnt out. So a lot of the expectation, and not just from the school, but from the parents that send their children there to achieve. But like the tuition, I mean, that's like you're going to Stanford.
Yeah.
The tuition is comparable. So anyway, that said, Aidan was a student there and was hesitant. He was very reluctant to say anything. He didn't want anyone to know what he was going through because, well, first of all, he looked around. He saw that no one was stepping in to help. His coaches were not stepping in to help. Any staff that was observing what was happening was not stepping in to help. And the message that is being transmitted to him is, it's not a big deal. This is how things are here. And so he thought, I just have to deal with it if I want to do well, and if I want to go to a Division I school. I don't want to disrupt anything that's going to get in the way, until it reached a point where it was unbearable. He was some of the teammate led by Luca Vanderwood would make horrible racist remarks to him about, like, I think at one point he was in the fitness center, like with the weight room, and they would just like, they come and they see him working out, and they're like making kind of like plantation type jokes to him about, like, yeah, that's right, you better work, boy, you better work, N-word. And then they would take like a jump rope and pretend to whip him like they were, like he was a slave.
God.
Right? It's so disgusting and so humiliating and degrading. And then to add to that, just ambushing him, like Luca would ambush him. He's like just trying to walk up the stairs to go to his next class. And Luca just like comes up behind him and is like sticking his fingers in his ass. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's so freaking
It's just like, it just
wild.
was
Like,
one horrible assault and indignity after another. So I believe he tried bringing this up to his coach,
mhm.
to a few different administrators, and the coach was like saying things to him like, well, you know, Aidan, it's just that they don't understand, like, you know, this is a new thing for them, like having a black teammate, like they don't
What?
understand your experience, like almost like cut them some hey, Aidan, hey, still, honestly, let it go, like stop making a big deal out of it, like they just don't understand what it's like to be black.
Dear God.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
poor kid. I mean, oh, think about your perpetrator's feelings, kid.
yeah,
Think
yeah. Hey,
about
you
your
don't.
violators' feels.
Yeah, you're being a little selfish, don't you think? I mean, okay, fine. They're calling you racist slurs and whipping you and mimicking slavery and then sexually assaulting you. But like, have you ever stopped to think about how they might feel? Like, that's what it sounds like, right?
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah.
just so twisted. I mean, we think about like this is okay. Just a diversion for a sec. It makes me reflect on high school and just what a total. I was so anxious about being thrown into this environment. Do you know Punch the Monkey?
Yeah. I don't like to
Okay.
talk about him though, because he's
No,
cute and I
I
just want him
know.
to be, yeah.
I have to block I have to fix my algorithm so he doesn't show up. I at first I was like into it because I was like, this is great. Like it's a way for us to tolerate our projections onto like monkey culture because it's very hierarchical,
Sure.
not unlike high school culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, it's very hierarchical and he is learning. He has to learn how to be with these animals. I personally don't think he should be in a zoo. I wish they would put them in sanctuaries, but he's there and he's taken his hits and he has relationships and he's learning the hard way, but he's learning and growing. And I was
Right.
like, okay, I can handle it. I can handle it. I can handle it. And I'm like, no, I can't handle it. It's there's something so awful about those kinds of. I mean, I'm transferring this. Let's talk about humans now because monkeys don't have the same kind of psychology we have. But it's it's hard to watch a sweet little innocent being be ganged up on and treated poorly. And the minute you walk into any kind of social situation, especially as a woman, as a teen or junior high, even elementary school, you see the complexities of relating and you see the vulnerability to being bullied. And I remember my whole entire MO getting through all of school was to avoid being bullied. And I think that's continued into my adult life. But I'll now read a quote. It makes me think about we as humans, we do these things and why. Like, what function does it serve? It made me think of this quote. So it's from Rob Henderson, who is an American writer. He's a political commentator known for coining the idea of luxury beliefs, which is so smart and interesting. His memoir, Troubled, a memoir of foster care, family, and social class, was published in 2024 by Simon & Schuster's Gallery Books. He has a PhD in psychology from the University of Cambridge and is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. He's great. He's totally worth following. So he was talking about dominance versus prestige, and this made me think about this case. And basically, he cites the book he's reading and it sounds like a really interesting book. But basically, social status can be broken down into two different types: dominance and prestige. Dominance is evolutionarily older and more commonly observed among animals. Dominance in humans is associated with narcissism, aggression, and hostility. Under the dominance framework, status is attained by instilling fear in others through coercion, intimidation, and displays of brute force. Humans and other animals confer status to dominant individuals because of what the individuals can do to them: inflict costs, pain, humiliation, injuries, disfigurement, violence, reputation destruction, and so on. As an example, Joseph Stalin obtained status through dominance. While dominance can confer benefits, it's often associated with instability and tension. In her illuminating book on pride, the psychologist Jessica Tracy has written that dominant people pay for their less kindly road to status by incurring dislike and even hatred of their fellow group members. And for many of us, this price is simply too high. We'd rather be low on the totem pole than be perceived as arrogant and domineering. Then there's the second type of status, which is prestige. It is evolutionarily more recent and pervasive across human societies. Prestige is associated with stable self esteem, social acceptance, and being well liked. Prestige is freely conferred to individuals based on their knowledge, skills, or success. We confer status to prestigious individuals because of what these individuals can do for us: provide us with benefits, teach us useful things, entertain us, grant access to resources, bolster our own status by being associated with them, and so on. So interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was not afraid to dominate, right? And you think about like him dominating this kid and Aidan, and I wonder if some of it came from like, well, first of all, not him not understanding his own sexuality and maybe having a little crush or something, but also being envious of this person who is sort of a natural, hasn't worked at it his whole life, comes on the team when he's a freshman, and he just wants to like destroy him.
Yeah, it's understandably Luca Vanderwood and his family members are not available for comment on any of
Hmm.
this. So, but I thought about that. I thought,
Hmm.
you've got this freshman who is, it's unusual to be a varsity player when you're a freshman. So
Yeah.
there's perhaps some resentment, feeling threatened by the new young talent. I have no idea. Like Luca Vanderwood, I mean, he's a gifted, also in his own right, player. He was recruited by UCLA to play water polo. UCLA reneged on its offer after everything came to light. Thank goodness.
Hmm.
But that said, he was a good player. But yeah, there's a lot at play here. The othering of him being black.
Yeah. The context that, because like if you think about dominance in a context where that's the norm in terms of behavior, it's not as risky, like I remember that I sent you that Reddit thread last night, and there were all these people weighing in about how actually violent water polo is in
Oh yeah,
terms, yeah,
yeah,
people coming to meets or whatever, or games, with like tabs from their Coke
yeah,
cans, whatever, and stabbing each other with them under the water to like,
yeah,
it's terrible.
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just thinking like in this larger context, that behavior was sort of like normed in a way.
The violence,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, being like harassing him, and then also, I mean, I think there was probably also a case of Luca putting his feelers out. If Aidan had turned around and fucking punched him in the face, and then like started hurling,
Yeah.
homosexual like epithets at him, I wonder
Yeah.
how things would have switched, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing about,
But
yeah, it's so hard. Yeah.
but Aidan was not raised like that. He was
Exactly.
he was he was not raised. He's a good kid. Like I mean, he's 18 now, but he was a good kid. He did the thing that makes sense. He turned around. He's like, "Why would you do that? Why did you do that to me?" And then
Yes.
Luca is like, "Ha,
I
I'm
gotcha.
gonna keep fucking going."
That's the thing. You're fucked. This is what the thing I dealt with a lot in high school, where we would totally, people would like call you up on a three-way line and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah, 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 and try to get you to talk shit about somebody else who was listening on the third line. And people would, in social groups, like with friends, you couldn't be neutral. Like, it was hard to be neutral because you would be that would other you too in the group, right? Like if everybody's talking about somebody and you're like, "No, I'm going to stick with my values. I'm not going to, do this," that you'll start being the one they hate because you revealed to them you're different from them. Is she judging me because I'm not she's not gossiping and we are, and then you get alienated that way. So it's like there's almost no good move in that situation. Like either you fight, you flee, you freeze, you fawn, you do those things. And he responded in a straightforward way that was confronting him without that kind of aggression.
Yes. And it should be noted too that there are consequences to reacting aggressively
Yeah,
when you're Black. And
absolutely.
he was afraid, like to the point where like
Yeah.
his dad was saying in the interview, he would not want to go out with like a black hoodie on because of the perception. Like this was around the time of, George Floyd and Trayvon Martin, all
Yeah.
these incidents were happening where you have a lot of young Black men afraid that they are going to be perceived as a threat and then killed, attacked, jailed. And so, for Aidan being a young Black kid who already prior to moving to Los Angeles was like afraid to go outside wearing a hoodie because of how what the repercussions might be of him doing that. So for him to respond with, I think, justifiable fucking violence, punching Luke in the
Yeah.
face for sexually assaulting him, completely justified in his mind. He's like, yeah, but I'm Black and Luke is white and most of the players on the team are white.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to me? I'm the new kid at the school. So he reacted, asked, why would you do this? Didn't get an answer except laughter. The rest of the team is laughing at him. And he's like, oh, shit.
Dude, this is so interesting because it totally fucking reminds me of Punch. Like you throw a new, I watched this all the time when I was in high school. Anytime a new person would enter the monkey enclosure, people would fuck with them, especially if you were a beautiful woman. If you were a beautiful girl and you were new to our school, you were fucked. And I would watch it every single time. I'd be like, she'll find her way. But, people are going to not like her. People are going to feel threatened by her, and she's going to land with some people who are nice. And it happened like 9 times out of 10. And when it didn't happen, the person ended up being totally ostracized. Like I remember one day we were leaving school and this girl, Sherry, she became a psychologist. It's no wonder why, but she came to my school and she didn't fall in with like the sweet girls. She fell in with my kind of crowd, which was like the Heathers-ish girls. And then of course people turned on her. And then one day we were walking home and I saw the entire class following her home, menacing her the whole way home. And I was just like, so it's just like it's dangerous at all coming into a new social group. I think in a way, like if you're conspicuous in any way and different in any way, and especially with this kind of school, very aware of class, social class, race.
Oh, we haven't even gotten into the parents.
Yeah.
Of this. We have not even fucking gotten into the fucking parents.
Humans.
Yes. So here's Aidan. He's keeping it to himself. He's not telling his parents. He's trying to keep his head down and keep forging ahead, doing well in school. I can't imagine the anxiety of going to practices, wondering how things are going to go. And Melissa and Alex, his parents, describe how all the families assumed that Aidan was on financial aid. You want to know why they were assuming he was a financial aid student?
Because he's Black? Because of his skin
Black.
color?
Yep.
Good God.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Alex, the dad, was like a high-profile attorney. The mother was a consultant with some big places. They lived in Bel Air.
It's like, is this 1967 or
there's something that feels so dated about this. This is
bizarre.
When I saw the article and like was reading about it, I'm like, it feels so like anachronistic. It's like, how is this happening now? I mean, if for nothing else, that it's not hip to be racist.
Right, and you're in a metropolitan, in a major city.
You're in a major
on the West Coast.
Yes, in 2020, well, at the time 2024, right? So like 2023, 2024.
It's culturally like it's a little microclimate, isn't it?
It's got to be. Yeah.
It's like culturally so odd for this
Right.
time and place. I mean, people speak to it all the time. You know, we know it exists, but like so outwardly. So
That the outwardly part is what's weird. Like usually, and it's not like racism hasn't just suddenly fallen away completely. Like obviously, where you find racism is in assumptions,
yeah.
backwards comments, like ignorance. And so, for example, with the parents making this assumption, oh well, he's got to be on financial aid. Why? Because he's black. They would be like, oh, you know,
Yeah, right.
they right. They probably are, you know, pat themselves on the back and donate to progressive causes as they're being fucking racist and
Right.
blind to it. But yeah, so Alex and Melissa were like, yeah, I had the impression that they thought this, and then it was confirmed because then when finally Aidan was upfront with his parents about what was going on, and they went to the school, and they're just like, you got to do something. Why aren't you doing anything? And they're like, we'll talk to Luca. We'll talk to the kids. And the coach had said, like, you know, maybe we should just get all the parents together to like talk. And then the coach was like, but I mean, imagine how that would like come across to them. Like if we did this. So the coach didn't want to do any, he wanted nothing to do with it. The school didn't want to do anything.
How would it come across to them?
I think criticizing their kids.
Oh,
I think that's
geez.
the problem. It's like, wait. So you're saying that we would have to talk to like Luca and Connor and some of the other kids, their parents, and like what say that their kids are doing something wrong. So
Oh
there was
God. See the power structure there? Like,
Mhm.
right?
A former employee of the school who's no longer there was saying like, if you discipline a Harvard-Westlake kid, you get to deal with VIP parents losing their shit on you. That's what you get to deal with. So,
Oh my God, the fear and the intimidation and domination theme. So I was listening to this book that I love. It's I forget what it's called. 7 Tips of Something Your Brain. It's 7 little essays from a neuroscientist about our brains. And she was saying, you know, we are constantly shaping each other, right? With your tone of voice, with the look on your face, with the way you move your body, with the words you say, you can impact another person's heart rate. You can impact what chemicals go into their bloodstream. And I think people wield this as a weapon. Some people, right? Like face my wrath. They intimidate and bully people into this kind of silence. I'm saying the obvious, but it's just so disgusting. And I wish that I was better at standing up to it. And I wish that everyone was better at standing up to it. But I think we just fear the costs, right? And then we just kind of go into our little coward mode, you know, or self-protective mode. Like you don't want to lose your job. So, God, gross. Okay. Hi.
so then we introduce victim 2, who's JM. And JM is from Central LA. He's a scholarship student. He got a scholarship, also a water polo player. And he got to enjoy having the teammates speaking to him in like a kind of Latin Mexican accent. So
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
he got that.
Creative, guys. Real
Yeah,
creative.
real original. So he was getting harassed and assaulted, and
Jeez.
you know, racial slurs about him being a Latino kid, and he was enduring all of this. And I believe that he is what prompted Aidan to come out, because Aidan, being the good person that he was and is, didn't want him to be alone in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so he corroborated what JM was going through and saying, yeah, no, it's happened to me. This is what fucking happens. So that now the parents are involved, going to the school administrators, and
Mm.
they weren't doing anything about it. And finally, they called the police and filed a formal, you know, complaint. And that is when police went to the school and arrested Luca. And Luca admitted to
Mm-hmm.
it. As a juvenile, he admitted to it, what he had been doing. And then you got to deal with parents at the school, the teammates at the school, parents saying, Aidan's gonna lose his financial aid if he blah 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 if he keeps lying. And it's like couple things. He's not on fucking financial aid. One and two, fuck you. So
That's gonna be my new thing I say to people. One, blah blah, and then two, fuck you.
Yeah, two, fuck you. Fucking
Yeah.
idiots, these assholes. Fuck, I hate people like that, dude.
It's so insane to me that, and these are the kind of people who do rise to the top in our society, right? Who knows how they got there?
Protected.
Right.
They're insulated and they are protected. And it's like if anything from the outside comes in and threatens what they've got going on, which is bigotry, abuse, repressed homosexuality that they can't come to terms with, apparently. Because I was like, what? He's trying to finger his ass. Like, what is wrong with you? Which is, again, like, if it was consensual, fine. But like, you're just like,
boys.
But there was another time when Aidan was in the shower. This is another just bizarre, just
so
primitive,
awful.
weird shit. He's in the shower minding his own business. And some of the other players come in and they want him to get out of the shower stall so they can get in, or one of the guys can get in or whatever. And Aidan's like, no, like, I was here first. Like, I'm finishing my shower. Grab hold of him. And the other person is like smacking his balls and like grabbing his, like, just like, what the fuck are you doing? You're weird. Like, why are you doing this?
Adolescent, I don't want to get too down on men because I love men, but adolescent males in groups are absolutely fucking terrifying.
It's like Lord of the fucking Flies.
Yeah.
Before I continue, this is probably a good point to take a break. But yes, it reminds me of like Lord of the Flies, just converging on him and then like doing weird things to his genitalia. I'm like, what is your preoccupation with his anus, his penis, his balls? Like what's going on, fellas? It is 2026. Like, you can, I don't know.
Right.
It's very strange. But the school decided that what they decided to do was Luca left the school. Mm-hmm. And was given a clean record. And so he went to Newport Harbor School. That's where he transferred to. And, Harvard-Westlake made sure that nothing incriminating was on his record so that he could have an easy transition. And at that point, Aidan's family and JM's father, his parents, said, oh, hell no. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. Aidan he finished high school online. He went to Barcelona where he was playing water polo, and he finished online. And some of the other players were bad-mouthing him in their Ivy League kind of admissions, like interviews, like some stuff was said. Aidan had that covered. He had formal like evidence, like showing like this is what happened. And he's going to an Ivy League school. He was accepted to an Ivy League school.
That's so great.
So I'm not sure what school it is, but I'm not sure what is going on with JM. I think JM is doing all right. Luca was offered a spot at UCLA. UCLA got wind of what happened, and now he's at, I want to say, Golden West or Orange Coast. It's a junior college.
Really?
Doing water polo. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where he is. But Aidan, so they filed a civil suit against Harvard-Westlake. His family did mostly because they were just like, first of all, if we're not bringing attention to this, is going to keep happening, and you can see it. This is a systemic thing because it was Aidan, then it was JM. Who knows who was abused prior?
Before, yeah. Is there no way, did they not want to file criminal charges, like for assault?
I think that he was a juvenile at the time.
Okay.
So I think that already happened because the detectives or the police officers went in, they arrested him.
Okay.
So I think he was a juvenile at the time when that happened. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. again, I just this case came on my radar yesterday.
Yeah.
I read as much as I could. So, but I think that they went as far as they could criminally.
Mhm.
He was effectively removed from the school and
Yeah.
stuff. But the civil case is, first of all, JM deserves fucking compensation also, because his family is, they're not well off, and he went through hell. And it's just a thing where it's like he's a scholarship student. He deserves to be there. He's an excellent player. He's good academically. It's hard enough kind of when you're out of your, when you're going into a place that is so full of like wealth, privilege, and celebrity, like
Yeah.
fucking Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter, who apparently was a fucking bully
But
herself,
I
like,
don't doubt it.
yeah, drove a girl to nearly kill herself and
Oh.
had to be removed from the school. But a lot of celebrities went there, a lot of bigwigs went there, and are presently going there. I think there's some celebrity kids or like nepo babies there.
I think Tom Hanks's kid did, one of them.
Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking about the effect of this kind of trauma on people and their relationships. It's like a lifelong scar, as you know. I mean, it's
Dude, I still to this day, and I'm 53, and there are times where I'm just minding my business and I have these memories. Like I spent a year at this private Catholic school, and people will find a way. Like we had to wear uniforms, but like just even with that, kids would find a way to flex that what they, their money and stuff. Because at the time, it was like polo, Ralph Lauren polo shirts were like in. And then I forgot, like there were these like Mary Jane shoes. I can't remember the brand that everybody was into. Guess jeans was a big thing. Giorgio was the perfume that all the girls were wearing, or Lauren by Ralph Lauren. And so like I went to this school and we didn't have a lot of money. And I didn't live on the west side. I lived on the east side and was dropped off at school in like a beat up old truck. And I have this memory of all the girls surrounding me on the playground and picking apart what I was wearing and asking me what the label was.
oh my God.
And I was naive at the time. I didn't know about things like that. I was like 12 years old. I didn't, that wasn't a preoccupation of mine. I didn't understand. I learned quickly
Yes.
that I was saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But that still like creeps up in my mind sometimes. And that wasn't physical abuse,
No. It's
There was some
horrible.
racism also in a very gross sexualized way from the boys about,
Yeah.
Asian girls, Asian women and hookers and all that kind of thing. But
Oh God.
so like
Yeah.
there was a money thing, there was a race thing, there was a class thing. But like fortunately I wasn't sexually assaulted on the campus by any of the kids and stuff. So I think about Aidan. And the thing is like on top of just the fear of losing out on a chance to get like a D1 scholarship, there's also the thing with being a young man and the shame involved in being sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
It's hard enough for girls to report sexual abuse, but when you're a young man, it's another thing too. Like how do you,
Yeah.
when you vocalize it, there's there's the idea that somehow you're supposed to be able to protect yourself.
Totally. There's a certain, I mean, there's like this, God, your voice, like the shame, like your voice catching in your throat, not even being able to speak. But there's also the sort of just pain of looking around and seeing that there are all these bystanders and none of them are going to help you. None of them are going to speak up and join you, and you're all alone. It's just so awful.
Yeah, your coach, like the people that are supposed to help you, your coach isn't doing anything. There was like at one point, oh, and also doesn't help that Luca Vanderwood's mother was the team mom.
Oh God,
Of course
no.
she was.
Of
Of
course.
course she was. I bet she was a fucking busybody too. Like, just a busybody, like, in everybody's business and all that, and her little precious son is on the team, but they had, like, gone to, like, junior nationals or something. I mean, that's how impressive the team was, and Aiden and JM were being harassed on the bus, like, racial slurs were just being thrown around and chanting the N word and all that kinda stuff,
No.
and no one did a fucking thing.
God, this is like the '80s. I mean, I remember
Right?
my friend Julie. I love Julie, but Julie was like a bit of a bully when she was in 6th grade, and she was on the bus one time. I told you the Gomer Pyle thing. Did I already say this on the podcast?
I
I
don't think
probably
so.
did. Okay. So, like, Julie got the whole bus. My sister's friend Marcy is like 2 grades younger than us, right? So they're all on the bus together. You got the 6th graders, you got the 1st graders or whatever. Julie starts this whole chant because Marcy's last name is Pyle. Julie starts this whole chant where everybody's like, Gomer, Pyle. And just like that was an insult back then. Nobody
Right.
knows who Gomer Pyle is now, probably. But God, it's like I can't even imagine, how do you stand up to that? It's not like the movies where you can stand up and make some eloquent speech and then everybody realizes what fools they've been and they apologize. And, it's like it's got a momentum when people are
Yeah.
bullying and it attracts, it like stirs people up. And it's like the bond of being on the in group. I think that's the carrot. That's the reinforcer there is like, this feels good. I'm bonding with the powerful, dominant, and I'm also not on the other end of this person, that person is. It's
Well,
just
that
so
I
ugly.
wonder yeah, it's
Mhm.
and I wanted to say, I was just, like, scrolling here. Yeah, so in juvenile court, Vanderwood admitted to sexually assaulting Aiden, and I'm not sure if JM was a separate case
Mhm.
or if that was a combined thing, but, and he was ordered to pay restitution, but then he was allowed to keep participating in water polo activities. So then the civil case is against Harvard-Westlake.
Mhm. Okay.
Specifically, not so the
Well, because 'cause they're culpable.
yes,
Yeah,
because
they did not protect him.
they fucking facilitated it,
Yeah.
you know?
Right, yeah, not only did they not protect him, they actually, like, facilitated. Yes.
Yeah, so the lawsuit is, accusing Harvard-Westlake of creating a culture that tolerates harassment and abuse, that the school officials ignored complaints and attempts to report these behaviors, prioritizing the reputation of the team and the star player. So yeah, so naturally Harvard Westlake is like, no, 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 we deny that. We never did that. We're great. That's why kids kill themselves when they come here.
Mm. Gosh. Of course, they're gonna deny it.
Yeah, so it's really no wonder that the niche score dropped from number 2 to number 40. It's like for the low price of 50,000 whatever over $50,000 a year, your child can also endure abuse, and we will not do a thing about it because we operate like a corporation.
Ay, 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 ay. At least they're having some consequences, if that's a
Oh, yeah,
consequence. Yeah, that's great. I
yeah,
mean, they should be held accountable. The case is in right now, the civil case is being litigated?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was
Okay.
filed very recently.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
then we'll know at some point down the road what the ruling will be. I just yeah, I mean, it's part of a job of a school, right, to protect the students?
Well, that's yeah, at the for that kind of tuition. And that's the thing too, is it's like, Aiden's parents were rich, upper class, paying full tuition for their son to go there, you know? And this happens.
I mean, imagine if they weren't and he
Well,
was on the top.
JM,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
JM was yeah.
Oh, this is also interesting about the case that, like, it reminds me a lot of, when women could get together and start talking about their experiences together and the change that can happen around that because you're not so alone. And I imagine the JM and Aiden sort of suffering together is what initiated them taking action, right? They found each other and they could validate each other's experiences and support each other in doing this. I wonder if, what would have happened maybe if they hadn't connected.
Well, yeah. I mean, a JM maybe would have just left the school, which is, again, it's like here's a kid from, from more humble upbringing, doesn't have the means that all these other students have, who worked his ass off to be able to go to this school, and then he's treated that way rather than being celebrated, rather than being acknowledged, like, bro, you made it. This should have been a place for him to really flourish. Already the chips were stacked against him, being low income.
Yep.
And he's going to this school. He's a good academically. He's an excellent athlete, and he's being treated this way.
Yeah, it totally speaks to the values that are being lived in that context. Like, we could live in a world where we made it very costly for people to be bullies, right? Socially costly. But that just wasn't there. The punishers weren't there. They just were able to have free reign of terror on whoever, because it didn't cost them anything. The school wouldn't go after them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's funny because that's the thing too, is I was thinking, like, I'm like, well, in 2026, living where we live, I think about, like, my kids, they go to a public school, but, like, there's so much, like, diversity, and it's not cool to bully. Like, it's
No.
not cool at all. Like,
Yeah.
you don't, like, if there is a kid that's getting picked on,
Mm-hmm.
there was one time when Adam was on the wrestling team, and one of the team members, he was a freshman, but he was little, he was a little guy. He hadn't fully grown yet. And there was somebody that had been picking on him at lunch. Someone had been doing something. And he mentioned it to a couple of his teammates at a practice, and all the wrestling team was going to get together and go kick the kid's ass for picking on him.
Oh, wow.
And the coach got wind of it and went to the principal and was like, you better deal with this, or else my athletes are going to deal with it.
Oh, I love this.
And the coach mentioned it at the banquet, and it was cute because the teammate, the wrestler, his mom was like teary-eyed that,
Aw.
but he's awesome. Like, he's graduating this year. He's still really good friends with Adam, and he's a team captain and stuff. Like, and a great wrestler.
Did anything happen with the kid? Did they have
I think the kid was confronted. Like, the wrestlers
Yeah.
didn't end up kicking his ass because I think the school. But I mean, that's what the fucking role of a coach. Like, the coach was like, "Yo, hey,
Yes, be
people in charge, you deal with it, or they're gonna deal with it. I can't fucking stop them."
Yeah.
So I just think about, like, in today's day and age, like, when I go and I pick up the kids from school, and I just see, like, a wide variety of kids. And it just isn't a thing like it used to be. I mean, fights happen. I mean, things happen, but it's so outdated. There's just something so outdated about, like, hey, you're poor and brown colored, I'm gonna fucking rape you and kick your ass. Like, what?
I know.
Like, it's just so weird. I'm like, do you guys, the lack of self-awareness, I'm like, do you understand that if this was a movie, you're the bad guys?
I know. Totally.
People hate you.
This is the crazy thing about this, though. Like, in terms of context, like how this is the fully adieu thing, I think, like, it takes two people and you have a little cult and you have norms and you have things that you can and can't do and you do and don't do. And it's just like it's nested within this larger context, but that context matters less, I guess, to them than the immediacy of this context. And they feel like they can do whatever the hell they want. And maybe that's how they feel in general. Maybe these people feel like they can act without impunity. They can act with impunity in the world because that's their experience. They can get whatever they want, and they've always had whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is true. Again, going back to the Lord of the Flies, it's like you're on an island. It's just this group, and then the id takes over, and it's not discouraged. And that's the thing. And that's why the lawsuit is so perfect, because it's like, no, you really did create an atmosphere where this is allowed to happen and is almost encouraged.
Yes. Right. That's perfect. Yes. They are culpable
Yes.
for enabling this atmosphere to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, think about all the anti-bullying campaigns that have been going on for decades. Yeah. But I think this means we're coming to the end of our episode.
I know. Bruno's like, Mother, I looked at the time. It's time for you to wrap things up.
Oh, Mother.
Mother, it's time to wrap things up. But yeah, I'm so glad that we talked about this. It's so, do you know what I mean though, where it feels like out of time, but it also really speaks to a culture that is so insular, so exclusive, so just backwards, you know.
It's so anachronistic, like you said. It is.
Yeah. I'm like, so I expect like Luca Vanderwood to look like James Spader from like Pretty in Pink, you know what I mean? And I'll wrap this up by saying that there's this great quote. I forgot who the quote is attributed to, but the kids, when they went to elementary school, it was on a mural, and it was written, and it was the quote was, "In a world where you can be anything, be kind."
Oh.
And I love that, because it's like, we really lose sight of that. It's like achieve, achieve, achieve. 4.5 grade point average, varsity superstar athlete, extracurriculars. And it's like you're forgetting the most important thing at all, and that's to be a good person. Like, that may sound corny, but clearly there are people out there that is not even on the list of things to be.
No.
So I am so glad that Luca Vanderwood is stuck at a JC. No disrespect to JCs. JCs are awesome, but clearly his eyes were on an Ivy or again UCLA recruited, and then that went out the window. Connor Kim, who was named. I'm like, Connor Kim, you're Asian, dude. What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, wait, Connor Kim. And I look at his picture. I'm like, bro, you ain't white. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry. I've experienced racism being an Asian woman. I'm like, Connor, you don't even fucking tell me that no one has ever like fucking used an Asian slur on you. Come on. And maybe it is a thing if he's like, oh shit.
Exactly.
I better join in. Yeah.
I mean,
I better join in.
Yeah. If I don't join in, I'm next.
Yeah.
And well, he didn't have to join in, but that's, I guess
he didn't have to.
Yeah. And that's what some people do, though. Like I said, like if you don't join in, you also become a target. I remember that happening to me.
Yeah.
Because I tried to be good. I tried to be myself. I tried not to like take up the shit talking and all the other stuff. But I was like, if I do that, I'm not a fucking target. And so I'd always try to like maneuver myself around like, listen, be nice, be funny, but don't, try to act according to your values, and also try not to be targeted. It's a gnarly, but yeah. I mean, it's great that he is having some consequences for his actions.
Luca, yeah. And I hope that, Connor Kim, hopefully he grew up a little bit. To be fair, I told you the story about when I was in first grade in Wyoming, and I was like being called the N-word because they didn't know the difference. They were like, your skin is dark. That means you're black. They didn't Asian was like too exotic for them, I guess. And I had endured so much like racial shit. And then all of a sudden the girls were being nice to me. And that's because they wanted me to join in on picking on the poor little girl that had matted hair. And it like, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, she was neglected and abused at home and stuff. And they like wanted me to join in and like make fun of her. And I did. And I have to, that's another thing where I'm like,
you were a little kid.
I was
trying
little
to survive. Yeah.
And I got it back when I went to that expensive Christian private school. And I got picked on for not having money. So I got it back.
We're also like, we are responsible for our actions when we're young, but we are fucking young. You don't know. Bleh.
I'm just astounded that on Aidan's team, there was not a single person that came to his defense. Like, that is some crazy work.
You know what just came to mind is, for some reason, is when we talked about Maddie, Madeleine McCann's case, and we talked
Yeah.
about the guy who was investigating the case in Portugal. God, I always mess his name up. Amaral. I always mess it up. So someone was saying in an article that I read that like you have to take into account that he was a big presence, right? So, and he was the leader of the group. And so they were saying basically that whatever he said, no one would challenge him because they were afraid. And I feel like this is a central issue, and it's survival for most of us. We go into like our survival mode. We don't necessarily step up with courage. I think that we should do that more in situations where we're afraid of a bully. That would be great. It doesn't always happen, but it's something to aspire to, because it really gets to me when those people win, when those domineering people who want to dominate because they could because of one thing, like they look at you weird or they yell at you maybe. And so they just rule over everyone because everybody's like, no, don't, my nervous system, like I wish we could be a little more robust in the face of that kind of bullying,
And Aidan did it. Like
Yep.
he had a hard time standing up for himself, but he stood up for JM.
Yep.
And because he didn't want him to be alone. He didn't want him to have to endure that kind of like embarrassment, humiliation, fear, anxiety by himself. And so he stood up and he said, hey, he's telling the truth because it happened to me. And it's like that right there, like good for him. And he was raised right. His parents, they sound like, in the article, they just sound like fucking amazing people. And they did an amazing job with him because he's doing it. He's making gains.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Anyway, that was a good talk.
I love it. I love it.
Are you a licensed joyologist?
I love it.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, if you have any insights, if you have any thoughts, if you went to Harvard-Westlake, if you too have suffered the indignities of Harvard-Westlake, please let us know.
Maybe there'll be a class action lawsuit at some point.
Awesome, right. Guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Hey, I'm Dan Harris, host of the 10% Happier podcast. When life gets a little rough, sometimes we feel this overwhelming urge to fix everything, which really is impossible. So I've got a new series coming up called Reset, where we're going to help you find simple, practical, surgical ways to reset key areas of your life. The lineup is incredible. We've got people like Gretchen Rubin, Laurie Santos, Atul Gawande, and The Daily Show's Josh Johnson. 10% Happier with Dan Harris. Join the party wherever you get your podcasts.